So now we know we had to do this work, and a lot of work it was. So what did we get for that work? Well, I went back to the EMBA website, which kind of listed out the many facets of what we are going to gain from this program. And I did a quick checklist in my mind and said, did we get this? Did all of this happen? And Doug's going to follow me, and he's going to actually probably address these points much better than I can, so I won't spend a lot of time on them. But as I go, as I went through it, was it a short, focused timeline? Well, at the end, it seemed like it went quickly. But as we were debriefing towards the end, I keep referring back to Michael Leake, very profound individuals. He said, it was quick looking back, but we felt every minute of it. And that's true. Networking opportunities, goes without saying. People within our cohort, very talented individuals, very talented professors and businessmen, as well as having access to several great people within the community. Family friendly, got to spend a lot of time with everybody else's families, got to know people's children, kids. And I would say also anything that got me out of the basement for 15 months was very friendly to my family. Going on the return on investment, absolutely. I have asked my boss, Paul Nungester, cohort 13, to join us tonight, and I should let him speak on if he's seen any return on investment yet. Maybe I'll just move on. Leadership development goes without saying. Great classes, great benchmark classes, capstone classes that got us there. And then, again, as I believe Doug is going to address, several great, everybody had such a great story in our cohort. The faculty, everybody brought a different perspective, such a wide variety of industries, talents, interests. It really was quite remarkable. But, I looked at that website, and one thing we learned in our entrepreneur classes and in our marketing classes is that the university wasn't selling a piece of paper, a diploma. It was selling an opportunity to learn and to change. And as I thought about that some more, I realized, and I hope the rest of my classmates realized, that we learned a lot from everybody, and that everybody changed quite a bit during those 1,600 hours that we spent together. I've probably taken longer than I meant to. I am no longer that scared little boy that you saw in that second slide there. I now truly, as we said throughout the coursework, there is not one of us that isn't as smart as all of us. I hope we continue to pull that power together as we go forward in the future.
Well, it is truly an honor to be able to speak to you all tonight and speak to you about the experience that the EMBA class, the cohort 15, has just gone through. What an incredible experience. And really the theme of what I wanted to talk to you about tonight is really a couple of things. I wanted to really highlight and recognition of what has just been accomplished, and also to really just think about a celebration of all of the things that we've just accomplished and done together as a group. The first recognition I wanted to make is of the program. The program is an outstanding program, and yes, you can go to the website and you can read about the program, but it doesn't do it justice. And when you get to that website, what you'll see is that this program, that this business school, that this institution has many distinctions recognized in the world of academia, but the distinctions really don't speak to the value that's behind that program. And that value, for me anyway, really came in the form of the people that make up the program. It's not about the content necessarily. It's about how the pieces all really fit together, the expertise and the experience that the faculty and staff, those who were recognized earlier already tonight, the graduate assistants who are a huge part of our program, always behind the scenes, but always there whenever we needed them. It's interesting. We spent Friday nights and Saturdays all day in the program, and we really never even realized how much we needed those graduate assistants, yet they were always there right when we needed them. So thank you to you all for all your help and your kindness. The administration, I want to recognize the administration for having the wherewithal to put together such a comprehensive program, a program that really just brought all kinds of value to all of us in the program, and to be very open to hearing some of our feedback, and feedback that was at times emotional, but it was always with a very positive intent of really trying to help contribute to make the program even greater for the next group. So a very big recognition and thank you to the administration for all that you did. To the faculty and staff, if there's any out there that is better, I'd like to see it. The professionals that we had an opportunity to interact with, and we got to know these folks pretty well. If you have an opportunity to sit in a classroom with somebody for 4 hours at a time over the course of 8 sessions, boy, you get to know each other. And the faculty and staff that we had the opportunity to work with was just amazing, both in their professionalism and in their approach, in the various techniques that they used to help to drive their point across, to the expertise that they brought to the table. The information that was delivered to us in a manner that challenged us. It was in a manner that was clear and concise, and it was in a manner that really was driven by the latest research, trends, and expertise. And there's just not a better quality education out there, in my opinion. So I'd like to recognize the faculty and staff for that. And I can't go without recognizing also Darlene Miller, our administrator in the process. Darlene, for making sure that all of the pieces fit together so nicely and that this train kept moving down the tracks. And we had many opportunities for us to come to a stall and really be dead on the tracks, and it never happened. And much of the work was done that we never even seen. But thank you for your time and your efforts as well. So. Now, before I get into the program, I also want to take a moment and recognize the support that we needed, the support system that we all as students in this program needed to be able to get through the class. And it starts right at home. It starts with family and friends. And for everyone in the program, we got to know each other quite well. I'm confident that every single person in the program had a solid foundation from which they could reach out and take on an endeavor like this. And that foundation really is the families and friends that surround us. It's not possible for us to get through the program without their help and support. And it's not something that we accomplished alone. It's something we accomplished with their support. So. Another key component to recognize in considering our support system was our employers. And when I say our employers, I want to include the institutions, the corporations, the companies that employed us, but I also want to include specifically our bosses, our coworkers, people that had been through the program before and lent their support and just talked us through some of the troubling times. For me, I have Randy Schimler, my boss here tonight from ProMedica, and I can tell you on many occasions whether it was just an opportunity to close my office door and finish that project that needed to be done on a deadline, or an opportunity to take that extra bit of time and really spend my focus where it needed to be in my schoolwork, or perhaps even a bit of extra understanding for a deadline missed with an actual work piece that I was on, with the knowledge that what I was trying to accomplish was just a monumental thing. So, and I think the most important thing was just a kind word of encouragement and support. And in speaking with many of those of you in the program, throughout the program, I know for a fact that almost every person in the program had that same kind of support. And we all come from different situations, but you had that support, and it's important. It's important. The next recognition I want to really make was the commitment that each of the students made to this program. I think it's significant. It's probably 2 years ago or so now that many of us started to investigate the idea of furthering our education, of developing ourselves professionally. And it's hard to believe 2 years ago. And for me, it was a little different circumstance. I actually I sprinted into the program. But for many of you, it was an opportunity to investigate what may be out there. How can I better myself? And really the significance there for me is the fact that Each of you, each of us, we're looking for a way to improve ourselves, to reach out, to take a chance, to take on something that was big, something that we knew was going to be very, very difficult to maneuver through, but something that really had some value. We had the opportunity late in the program to go overseas and had an incredible experience. And you saw some of the pictures coming through a presentation as we all mingled earlier on. But as we came back and returned from that trip, we all began to see this light at the end of the tunnel. And the light at the end of this tunnel was really the end drawing near of this process. And really, what does it mean that we've had this chance to go through this program together? What do we come out? What's the end result? Well, I want to recognize that result is really more than just a unique set of skills that each of us picked up along the way. And we did. There was no way around it. The study was tremendous and it was intense, and all of us learned how to become better leaders, and we learned how to develop products, and we learned how to create a strategic plan. And those pieces and parts are invaluable. But the other thing is that we learned that we can reach out and try to accomplish something that's bigger than ourselves and come out better because of it. And I want to leave you all with one last quote. The quote says this: "It is only out on the limb where the fruit will grow." And I came across that and I thought, gosh, how apropos. We could have all chosen to been safe and really stay in at the roots or at the base of the tree. But we all chose to make a leap of faith, this commitment to be in this program, to be involved. And we've all had the opportunity to flourish in that environment, that setting. So don't let that end. I challenge all of you that have gone through the program, all my classmates, to take the knowledge that you've collected, to come out of this program with a new skill set, a new confidence. Take that back to your workplace. Where you're at today, make a difference. Look for new opportunities. Where you're at today is certainly not the end. Look for new opportunities to not only affect the people that you are touching today, but look for opportunities to affect others. And finally, look for opportunities to give back to your communities. This isn't about us being better leaders in our workplace. This is about us being better human beings and better leaders in our lives.
You have to be able to create the energy that turns people into the right direction. That is really actually the commitment of what you make when you get this type of an education and you leave a university as great as the University of Toledo. The world is going to be okay if we step up. For too long, people have been standing on the sidelines just watching, saying that it's somebody else's turn to be able to do this, not mine. So when do you enter the game? When do you decide that you're going to make a difference in this world? I think it's now.
It's not the years, my friends, it's the mileage. It is the mileage. But I just want to use the words of Thoreau as we wrap up. And isn't this little guy, Jackson's, Jacob William Jackson, what a lovely child. And he's the future of this community, yes or no? So we need to work our tails off to make the future bright for little people like this in our community. And I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so very much for the privilege of being here tonight and being with all of you. Our faculty, as I said earlier, I'm very fortunate that we're surrounded by great people. And in the words of Thoreau, he said this time, like all time, is a great time if we know but what to do with it.
Sir? Congratulations. Madame? It's a pleasure. Madame. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.